Acts 13, verses 42 and 44. And when the Jews were gone out of the synagogue, the Gentiles besought that these words might be preached to them the next Sabbath. And the next Sabbath day came almost the whole city together to hear the word of God. Now, I tweeted that out last Saturday, and somebody replied and asked, is this supposed to prove that Sabbath keeping was practiced by the Apostolic Church? Well, in and of itself, it doesn't prove it. It does show that on those particular Sabbaths, they went into the synagogue, but it doesn't necessarily prove that they kept it, although it does bolster the argument that they did, as does Acts 17, verse 2, which shows that it was Paul's custom to go into the synagogue on the Sabbath as well. I will save the proof that they kept the Sabbath for the end. If you go to Isaiah 66, verse 23, it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another and from one Sabbath to another shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. That's an indication, but is it proof in and of itself that the Apostolic Church was keeping it? Maybe not, but it strongly implies it. If you go to Matthew 24, verse 20, pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. That's speaking about the end time. If you don't believe me, then go to Matthew 24 and read verse 3 and read verse 13. Whether there was a partial earlier fulfillment, it's talking about the time of the end. Now, what's the proof that they kept the Sabbath? Matthew 19, verse 17, Matthew 5, verse 19, show Christ's attitude towards the commandments, that we should keep them. 1 Corinthians 7, verse 19 shows that Paul said keeping the commandments of God is what matters. Revelation 12, verse 17 and 14:12 show that the church keeps the commandments of God. So what is the proof? Exodus 20, starting verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. God commanded in one of the 10 commandments that we keep the Sabbath. We know the church, the Apostolic Church, kept the 10 commandments. Therefore, of course, they kept the Sabbath. The Sabbath was never done away. Just the penalty for breaking it was blotted out, but not the Sabbath itself. Have a blessed, joyous Sabbath, everyone. Peace all. Bye-bye.